Hello students, welcome to your software engineering class. In the previous session, I have discussed about white box testing, and this is the continuous video of that white box testing. White box testing means the programmer or the tester test all the internal structure of the program. And we have discussed about statement coverage, branch coverage and condition coverage. Okay, so let's start today's topic about path coverage, mutation testing and data flow tested. Okay, so let's start. In the previous class, I have covered statement coverage, branch coverage and condition coverage. And in this class, I will cover path coverage, data flow based testing and mutation testing. So let's start from path coverage. Path coverage. The path coverage based testing strategy requires designing test cases such that all linear independent path is the program are executed at least once. Means in path coverage, it said that the test cases must be cover all the linear independent path. Here not all the path, all the linear independent path, and we have to know what is linear independent path. And to know what is in linear independent path, you must know about the control flow graph of a program. So let us discuss what is control flow graph of a program. A control flow graph describes the sequence in which the different instructions of a program get executed. Means how the statement are executed in a program. Means which statement executed after which. How the control flow from one statement to another statement. In other words, a control flow graphs describe how the control flows through the program. In order to draw the control flow graph of a program, all the statement of a program must be numbered first. Okay, to draw the control flow graph, the program the statement must be numbered first. Okay, and the different number statements are nodes, become the nodes of the graph. And if the control flow graph, an edge from one node to another node exists, means the control flow from that statement to that statement, then there exists a edge. Okay, and we know all the program may be of sequence type or selection type or iteration type. So we must know how can we represent the control flow of selection, sequence and iteration. So this is the example. So sequence means it executed all the statement one by one. Means after first statement is execute second statement, then the next. Means it is executed one by one statement. Okay, and in selection, if there is a condition and if the condition is true, then it executed a part of a statement, and if the condition is false, then it execute another part of the program. Okay, so in this case, if the statement 1 is true, then it executed the statement 2, and if 1 is false, it execute 3. Okay, after that it execute the statement 4. So this is the control flow diagram of selection. Okay, then next is iteration. In iteration, if this condition is true, the statement 1 is true, then it will execute the 2 and 3. Okay, then again it come to 1, then again it check the condition, and by this it execute this path 1, 2 and 3, and when the condition 1 is false, then it execute the 4. Okay, the statement 4. So here we cannot come from 3 to 4. The 4 will executed when the statement 1 is false. So this is the iteration control flow diagram. So these are the control flow diagram of different programming like sequence, selection and iteration. And next is the example of GCD. Okay. So to calculate GCD of two number, first statement is while x not equal to y. Means the first statement will check if x is not equal to y. If the statement is true, then it come to statement 2. Okay. Otherwise, it come to statement 6. Okay. Otherwise, it come to, if the condition is false, then it comes to 6. If the condition is true, then it come to statement 2. And in statement 2, again it check if x is greater than y or not. If x is greater than y, then the 3 statement x equal to x minus y, this 3 is executed. Otherwise, it executed 4. Okay. So after that the loop is ended and again it go to the 1 and again it check if x is not equal to y, then again the process continue until the x is equal to y, then it come to the terminal node, that is return x. Okay, so this is the control flow diagram of GCD of two number. Okay. Then next is path. What is a path? A path through a program is a node and edge sequence from the starting node to a terminal node of a control flow graph of a program. Means from starting to ending node, all the nodes and edges are the path, and there may be a number of terminal node in a program, and it is not possible to cover all the path. We cannot write the test cases that cover all the path of a typical program. So for this reason, path coverage only cover all the linear independent path. Okay, it cover only the test cases cover only the linear independent path. So let's know what is linear independent path. A linear independent path is any path through the program that introduce at least one new edge that is not included in any other linear independent path. Okay, means it must include a new edge that is not included in any other path. Okay, then that will be a linear independent path. And if a path has a new node compared to all other linear independent path, then the path is also linear independent. Means if a path have a new edge or a new node, then it will be a linear independent path. Okay. Means for example, in this case 1, 2, 3, 4, this is a linear independent path, and 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, means 4 is a new node that is not included in this path. So this is a linear independent path and this is a linear independent path. And 1, 2, 6, that is a linear independent path. Means in this program there are 3 linear independent paths. Okay. And a path through a program is a node and edge sequence from the starting node to terminal node of a control flow graph of a program. We know that path means all the node and edge combined from the starting node to terminal node, and there may be a multiple terminal node. Okay, and to calculate the linear independent path, there are many matrix, and Metcalfe's Lycomedic complexity matrix is used to calculate the linear independent path practically. Okay, so let us discuss about Metcalfe's matrix. Metcalfe's psychometric complexity define an upper bound of the number of linear independent paths through a program. Means it gives the upper bound, means the maximum number of linear independent path. Okay, it is a practical view through which we can calculate the linear maximum number of linear independent path, and there are three methods. Okay, there are three different ways to compute the cyclomatic complexity. So first is the method 1. In method 1, given control flow graph G of a program, the cyclomatic complexity is represented through Vg, can be computed as Vg equal to En. Okay, Vg equal to E minus N plus 2. So E means number of edge and N means number of node plus 2. So for example, in this GCD program, we have number of node 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then number of edges is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Means number of edges is 7 and node is 6. So 7 minus 6 plus 2, that is 3. Means there are 3 linear independent paths. So this way we can easily calculate the linear independent path. Okay. The method number 2 is very easy. Vg means the complexity, cyclomatic complexity Vg can be calculated total number of bounded area plus 1. Okay. So total number of bounded area means this is a bounded area. Okay. And this is also a bounded area. Means 2 bounded area plus 1, so it is 3. So there is 3 linear independent path. This is first one, this is second one, and this is the third one. Okay, so method 2 is very easy, and the formula is total number of bounded area plus 1. Okay, then method 3. Okay, method 3 said that the number of decision statement of a program plus 1. Okay, there are number of decision statement, and in this case the number of decision statement is 2. Okay, then the number of decision statement plus 1, so 3. There are 3 linear independent. There are 3 linear independent path. Means by this method we can calculate the linear independent path, and we have to cover all the linear independent path. Means our test cases designed such a way that we can cover all the linear independent path. Okay, and the next is data flow based testing. In data flow based testing, it tests the number of variables. The data flow based testing method select the test path of a program according to the location of definition and use of different variable, where the variable is defined and where the variable is used in a program. Okay, means let us consider a program P. For the statement number S of P, means the statement number S in the program P, let def S means definition of S equal to X, state that statement S contain definition of X, and uses S, X state that statement S contain a use of X. Okay, means here the statement, let the statement is A equal to BC, means A is defining here, and B plus C means it uses of B plus C. Okay, uses definition of S is A and uses of S is B plus B and C. Okay, and the definition of variable X at the statement S is said to be live at statement SI. Okay, means where the definition of variable x at the statement x is said to be live at statement si, means where it uses. If there exists a path from statement s to statement si, if there exists a path between the definition of variable and uses of the variable, then it is alive, which doesn't contain any other definition of x. Okay, so this way we can design the test cases that test all the variable that define and uses of the variable. Okay, then the last testing is mutation testing. Actually, after all the testing have done, then the programmer test mutation testing. So actually mutation testing means it introduces a error or it changes intentionally, it introduces error in a program or it changes the program and check the test cases, and if the test cases can recognize the error, can find the error. Okay, all the error are found by the test cases, then they said that the mutant is dead. And if the mutant is live, means if the error is live or not found by the test cases, again they change or they introduce some new test cases by which the error can be found. Okay, so this is mutation testing. So in mutation testing, the programmer introduce error. Okay, and the test cases, each time the program is changed, it is called muted program, and the change is effected is called mutant. A muted program is tested against the full test suite of the program, and if there exists at least one test case in the test suite for which the mutant gives an incorrect result, means if they found the error, then it is said that the mutant said to be dead. Okay, if the error is found, then that is dead, means the test suite is correct, and if they not found the error, means the mutant is alive, they have to enhance or change the test cases. So this is all about the testing strategy of the white box. Okay, and white box cover up with statement coverage, branch coverage, condition coverage. In statement coverage, the test cases are designed to test, means cover all the statement of the program, and in branch coverage it cover all the branch of the program, and in condition coverage it cover all the condition, and in path coverage it cover all the linear independent path, and data flow based testing it cover all the variable where the variable is defined and where it is used. And the mutation testing means it in the programmer knowingly introduce some error or change the program and check the test suite that find the error or not. Okay, so this is all about the white box testing. Thank you.